Hi, and welcome back to the Locker Around the Clock. It's Wild Card Weekend. And down the stretch, we went 4-2, 2-0 on our guaranteed locks, 4-0 on the guaranteed locks for the year. We had a blast. Well over 500 for the season, and we're looking to make a run in the postseason. And with the 4 games we got, great slate, awesome football for the weekend. It's freezing here in Jersey. We got some snow. It's 30. It'll be a lot colder, I'm sure, in Green Bay, and we'll get to that in a moment. Let's start off with the Saturday games, kicking off the wild card weekend. My Oakland Raiders, Raider Nation, for the 420 lock. Now, I'm going to give you some games this weekend. I'm going to give you opinions on all of them, but 2 of them are going to be locks that I want you to go with. The other 2, you can parlay them, tease them, whatever you want to do. Tell your grandmother about them. I don't know. But Saturday, the 420 lock, Oakland going to Houston, the home of the Super Bowl. 51 coming up. Hopefully our Raiders will be there. This game is a great start for them. Now, Connor Cook, I know we had him thrust into a position last week in Denver, which was crazy. A third-string rookie that we just drafted comes in the middle of an assault that was going on McGloin. Basically feeding Connor to the Lions, basically, but they were Detroit, so we were feeding them to the horses. Anyway, they went out there and he didn't look great, but he did throw for 150 yards, a touchdown, a pick. He had another fumble lost. But you could see one thing. First of all, he's 6'2". He's bigger than 5'10" McGloin. You can see over the line better. And his arm strength. I saw his arm strength. And he has been in college in major league big games before. Putting him into the playoffs, no better scenario, I guess, than Houston, one of the number 1 defense in the league, without J.J. Watt. But look for this game to be controlled by the offensive line. The Raiders, if you heard Jack Del Rio this week, had mentioned that almost Latavius Murray was being rested for this game. We didn't get more than about 35 yards last time rushing against them. Connor Cook, they're definitely going to have to lean on him at some point. But I think the running game will get going here. We're going to throw some safe bubble screens out to the side. We'll get the running backs going, and then work Crabtree. And Amari Cooper has been calling for the ball. And you saw the way Amari Cooper and Connor Cook hooked up in Denver for that touchdown. He does have the touch. He's got the one thing you'll notice with Connor Cook is the arm strength again, and I think that's going to be the difference, the key here, because you got to remember on the other side of the ball, yes, we have a great defensive team, but we also have Brock Osweiler quarterbacking for this team. And even though he has the weapons there, and even though he should be able to produce some points, I don't think he's going to produce enough to get past the Raiders, because I think the Raiders are going to be able to go out there and put up some points on this team. They're going to get some turnovers, which are big. Remember, Khalil Mack always has huge games against Brock Osweiler. We have Carl Joseph back this week, which will help stopping the run, which we're going to need to against Houston. Look for the Raiders, though, who are getting 3.5. This is my 420 lock. The Raiders, take them. They're getting 3.5. Should win this game outright. On to the 8 o'clock game. Detroit at Seattle. Seattle at home. They haven't looked well down the stretch. Russell Wilson up and down. He's claiming he's taking his knee brace off for this game. I don't know why you wouldn't have done that for the last half of the season. It happened in week 2, your injury. Apparently you're playing. I don't know why you needed it. Anyway, listen, Detroit, Seattle, I really don't like the game. I'm kind of actually pulling for Detroit. It would be a great story for that city. It would be a great win for them and Stafford, who's been having a pretty phenomenal year. But I think Seattle's going to win this game. I don't like the 8 points that they're giving. I think this game is going to be somewhat of a shootout. If Detroit can get things going, look, Seattle's going to come out all guns firing and the whole 12th man behind them. It's going to be a tough place and unsettling for Detroit early, but we've seen Captain comeback in Detroit, and I think this is a game where Stafford in the second half could put up some numbers. I like the total in this game. It's my opinion again, but if I was going to go with anything in this game, I would take the over 43.5 in Detroit at Seattle. I think Seattle's going to win the game outright, not by a lot. Kind of up and down with that, but I do, again, I'm going to give you my opinion. This isn't what I would go with. Over the 43.5 if you do anything in this game. On to Sunday. The 1 o'clock lock for Sunday is Pittsburgh at home, laying a Big Ten to Miami. Miami coming in here after beating Pittsburgh earlier in the season, regular season, in a game where really they knocked out Roethlisberger. He was gone for most of the game. Landry Jones came in, and it really didn't matter because Jay Ajayi had a monster game behind that healthy offensive line, which again, by the way, is now healthy. They should be able to form a pretty nice front for Jay Ajayi to run that game again. That whole pattern against the Steeler team that's really not so good at stopping the run. Now, again, Roethlisberger, assuming he's playing the whole game, they're going to be completely healthy with Bell in the backfield. But I think Miami matches up well against Pittsburgh, and I do think that Miami keeps this game very close. They're getting 10. My opinion in this game is to take the Dolphins. I like the Dolphins. I like the 10 points. I think offensively they're going to control the clock and keep the ball out of Ben's hands, and then the defense will be able to take care of business, even though it's a high-powered Pittsburgh offense. This is going to be a tough game with both of these teams trying to establish a ground game. But I do like Miami to keep this close, plus the 10. On to the 440 lock. This is the lock of the day on Sunday. The New York Giants heading out to Green Bay, where they're going to go from our balmy 30-degree weather here to a tropical 6 degrees in Lambeau Field, where Eli Manning is 2-0. Aaron Rodgers is 2-2 in the playoffs. And look, we've seen a Giants team somewhat like this come into the playoffs. They always seem to play well, obviously, in Lambeau Field. I believe that, look, Aaron Rodgers lit it up. He ran the table, albeit against some, not so great teams down the stretch. But, look, they beat them nonetheless. They did what they had to do. They put up a ton of points doing it. But now this is a game where they're going to hit a little bit of a wall because the Giants have an outstanding defense. If anything is going to carry the Giants through the playoffs, it's going to be that defense. Also, a well-rested receiving core for Eli Manning to work with after their trip to Miami, which I think everybody read way too much into. Look, the Giants are getting 4.5 points in this game, and the Giants are undefeated at Lambeau Field last couple times out. And I think their defense is it's dominating. Green Bay doesn't even have an established running back, although they will have Tyrone Montgomery. They will be able to run the ball with him, hopefully, against this vaunted defense of the Giants, which I think is going to control the game. And look, if we can keep points off the board for Green Bay, the Giants, that's their key to winning this game. The Giants are getting 4.5 points in this game. I love Eli. I love the Giants in this game. I think defense overtakes the offense, and I think the Giants will be able to move the ball somewhat here, mostly through the air to the receivers against the beat-up secondary for Green Bay. Take the Giants. Take the 4.5. That's the 440 lock on Sunday. Until next week when we go 2-0. Let's go Raiders. Look for the Giants to win their game outright, Raiders to win their game outright, plus the points. You know the rest. Until next week when we go 2-0 in those two games, take it to the book, take it to the bank, and as always, you take it ace. Happy New Year's.